Okay, and we are live. I see that there are people already joining in. I'm sorry for a delay. You had some technical issues here, but everything is fine now. Everything is working great. I'm going to ramble a little bit here because I see there are still people joining. So I don't want anyone to miss out or anything. Let me introduce myself. My name is Diego. I work for my German university. As you can see here, it's written in my tag. So before we start, I just like to tell you all that, first of all, you see that you cannot use the chat function. That is for me to send links to you. So you cannot talk there. However, if you have questions, you can use the Q&A function, which is down below here. Write your questions. I'll try to answer them. If I don't answer right now, it's because probably going to answer them by the end of the webinar. Let me share my screen here. Okay, so very quickly, because first of all, let me tell a little bit about us. We are my German university. We are Germany's largest database of English taught study programs. This means that if you want to study in Germany and you want to study in English, we are the best platform for you. How do we do that? We have three main ways. First of all, we have articles, a bunch of articles written in a bunch of different languages: English, Portuguese, Chinese, Spanish, Russian. So you can go there, and if you have any specific doubts, specific questions, you can find really good content there. Besides the articles, we do webinars, which is kind of obvious because you're attending our webinar from my German university. We have different types of webinars. We have specific about subjects. We have, for instance, if you want to know how to get a scholarship in Germany, we have a dedicated webinar for that. And we also have the most interesting webinars, which are these, where we have the experts coming and answering your questions and giving good information about study programs that may be of interest for you. This is us. We are a very international team. I'm from Brazil. I have colleagues from Peru. I have colleagues from Georgia. I have colleagues from Germany, obviously. And, you know, we all, particularly the internationals here, we all came here to Germany to study. And we know how overwhelming this process can be. So I can tell you right now that not only have the expertise, but we also have the experience of this process. We know what it is. So that's why we feel very qualified to try to help you. Database you should know. I'm not going to lose a lot of time here because, again, least important person. We have the Hochschul Compass if you want to find more programs. We have ours, which is if you want to study in English, is much more updated. You can go there and play with the filters, and you're going to find the programs you want. You can filter by city. If you want to study in Berlin or in Boston, you can filter by subject. If you want to study social science, if you want to study mathematics. Anyway, very customizable. You can really find what's best for you. We have a subjects page where you can find more information. Again, I really don't want to lose that much time here because today this is the least important thing. However, pro tip, as always, and you see this today, you have to really dedicate yourself to find the right study program. You can find the great programs that have great rankings, that are in the city of your dreams, but you really have to make sure that you are the right fit for the program and vice versa. So please pay attention today or what everyone is talking about here. Just so you know, there are some differences between university and University of Applied Sciences. Universities more traditional, more research-based. University of Applied Sciences are much more application and practice-based oriented. Again, this is something that is really up to you to find what is best for you. Again, how to find the right program, go to our website and play around with the filters, and you're going to find many, many different types of programs. And from there, you can start thinking what is the best thing for you. You have to make sure you qualify for those programs, but you also have to make sure that they are the right fit for you. So we have three guests here. Julian is going to go first. Sustainable mobilities. Actually, Julian and Gisela, I think, right? Together. I'm pretty sure this is wrong. And here is going to talk about the MA blended learning evaluation. And finally, to finish this off, Sophie is going to talk about economics. Each one of them have about 15 minutes to talk. In the meantime, I'll be very much in the background. I'll try to answer your questions if you have any question. Julian, the floor is all yours, and I'll make sure to let you know about the time.
Thank you, Diego. Just fiddle around with the technical stuff now. So
No
we set screen 2. And now I'll run the presentation.
Perfect.
Does it work? Perfect.
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Well, weather here is not so good, actually. It's raining and it's gray and dark, probably just like in Berlin. Nevertheless, I'll run you through the Sustainable Mobility's Master of Science here in Geislingen an der Steige in southwest Germany. I'll give you a short introduction into our locality, basically, into the study course, and then probably for you, the most important part will be the curriculum of our program. I'll dive into the opportunities, give you an overview of our lecturers, and then try to talk you through the application process, although Gisela knows a lot more about that than me. All right, where we at? We are situated at Geislingen an der Steige, which is between Stuttgart and Ulm. The university actually has 2 places. One is in Nürtingen, one is in Geislingen, both between Stuttgart and Ulm, however, 40 kilometers apart. In total, we have, this semester, we have 5,226 students. I saw the number of 5,400 somewhere earlier. At the moment, it's a bit less. 125 professors are teaching here at the university. In addition, we have 429 lecturers all in all, and 326 employees. And we're very, very proud of having partnerships with around 100 universities all over the world, actually, also even in New Zealand. And we have a award-winning library, pretty old school, but still we have it, 93,000 books here in Geislingen, in Nürtingen, even with 2 locations. Geislingen itself is a medium-sized town, very conveniently located between Stuttgart and Ulm, situated in a wonderful countryside on the western part of the Swabian Alp, if that tells you something. So perfect for going hiking, for enjoying the countryside, and taking trips into the green. What might be special here in Baden-Württemberg is that in the study ticket, in the semester fee, the study ticket, so the public transport is included, so you do have all the freedom in traveling around with public transport. Here in Geislingen, we offer 173 dormitory places that are operated by the university, or let's say by the University of Tübingen. So we have own dormitories. However, there are also more than 300, I believe, privately operated dormitories in Geislingen. So there's plenty of living space for you at comparably cheap prices, because we are situated on the very outside of the metropolitan region of Stuttgart, but still you can reach Stuttgart within roughly 40 minutes and Ulm within 30 minutes, and even Munich, I believe, within 1.5 hours by train. What's also quite special is that we have very, very modern facilities. This part of the university in Geislingen was founded in the 1990s, so everything is still pretty modern. We have quite high-techy stuff in our lecture rooms, which are more smaller than you would imagine, because we do a lot of group work. What we as a course or program offer is an international master's. Our only language here is English. And we also teach transdisciplinary, so interdisciplinary, because we allow a lot of different backgrounds into our program, and transdisciplinary because we come from the field of sustainable mobilities research, which by training is basically transdisciplinary, meaning working with citizens here in Geislingen. We have some pretty highly renowned lecturers, and we try to teach the key knowledges and skills in the field of sustainable mobility and transport, as well as, and that's a specialty actually, it's social science based. The topics are key competencies in mobility theory, following basically 𝘗𝘀𝘪, if that rings a bell with you. Concepts and approaches. We also teach research methods, quantitative and qualitative, of course, and then also future research and solution design is part of our colloquium of our teaching. What is very important for us is the problem-based project work, which basically means that you will be confronted with real-world problems concerning mobility, of course, and you will be the ones trying to, get together a research project that is actually then finding a solution to the problems, and that's kind of pulls all through the program. And ought to give you solution-oriented skills in mobility design and planning, because as we all know, this mobility's turn actually means more than just finding solutions. We also have to understand the problems thoroughly, and that's a research gap, as we would say. We all know mobility, but mobility is more than just getting from A to B. Ulrich Beck would say mobility starts within your head. Oh, and of course, because it's only taught in English, your English skills coming out of this program will probably have improved compared to getting into it. What we expect from you, being a social science-based program, we really need the commitment to work hard for your own and our success, because we teach very collaboratively. It's very, very important that you read and write a lot. So there's always going to be paper thrown at you, especially in the first semester. That can be quite overwhelming. However, I promise you it's worth it. And then, as I just said, teaching collaboratively means that active participation in discussions is needed in order to actually bring across, the ideas of the sustainable mobility theories, and also for you to get out as much as possible out of it. Also, and that's the international part, we're very, very interested, in your backgrounds coming from all these different cultures and all these different countries and political backgrounds as well, and all these disciplinaries, these different, and that's why we really need you to be open-minded about new ideas, new knowledge, and new perspectives. Here's some reading recommendations if you want to get familiar with what we actually do and what our approaches are. I think it's 5 books to sharing mobility. This is one of my favorite books here. And also the handbook of research methods and applications for mobilities, I can highly recommend. The curriculum. So it's basically threefold, our concept. So we have at the very top, we have basically the 3 parts, which are concepts, methods, and practice. So we take a huge part in practical teaching, which is what I said earlier, the problem-based research part, the methods, qualitative, quantitative methods, research methodologies, but also, which is quite modern, or yeah, not so modern anymore, but we teach mobile methods and future research, and then the concepts, which is the sociological part, the sociology of sustainable mobility, sustainable development, and all these things. So we will learn the links between society, economy, and mobility, how to investigate them and the future, and then also how can you actually lead and conduct research yourself. And all that culminates in your master thesis, which is one part a colloquium, where you get into interaction with your other colleagues, and then also the master thesis, where you yourself have your own research basically to do. I tried to order our subjects according to that logic. So you see the concepts is what is being taught first in the first and second semester, basically. And then we move through the first, second, third semesters into the practice, which is mobility solution design, and then the problem-based research, actually. Urban mobilities is very cool. That's actually a excursion. This year it was to Paris. Usually we go to Copenhagen. Next semester we might go to Munich. And then there's also, you going into the field and doing research with very practical problems. I think I'll skip this. That's just our curriculum in a table form with the ECTS. Because we are not the smallest university, we also have extracurricular offers, of course. We have the Academy of Further Education that offers writers' clubs and language courses, also in German language, but also in English and French, I believe. We have the EBIS that supports you in scientific writing, because with some backgrounds, you might not be that used to actual scientific and academic writing. So there are extra courses that you can take and that are free. The opportunities, we also offer you to go abroad within our program. We do have a lot of partner universities, as I just mentioned. The Aalborg University in Denmark actually fits best with our logic of teaching, and we highly support you in going abroad. And we also support you in finding internships. We have a network here in the Stuttgart region with, for example, automotive industry. The transport authorities are asking or demanding us to send them interns, and also the Ministry of Transport, for example. And a very good recommendation here in the southwestern part of Germany, at least, is to actually learn German pretty early, because doing internship, especially with authorities, actually means speaking German, or at least a bit of German, in order to be able to communicate. However, internship is not mandatory. I myself, I'm a mobilities researcher, actually, and I'm employed in the MobiQ project. And I tend to use you as students every now and then, or invite you to join me in actions, like, for example, the cycling demonstration that we had earlier this year here in Geislingen. We are also a small research group, and we always have research projects that can actually also be undertaken by students or groups of students. And then there's the Baden-Württemberg Institute for Sustainable Mobility, also located at the university, where we also need working students, actually. All right, career opportunities. Usually our alumni work at public authorities or consulting companies. More recently, a lot of them moved into, mobility providers such as Bolt, for example, or Lime. But then also, the classic transport and mobility industry, like the German Deutsche Bahn, of course, are opportunities where people actually take on careers. And then also non-profit organizations, NGOs, and trade unions. Some, like me, also take up university positions in research and teaching, and some others have also been pursuing PhDs in the past. Yeah, as I just said, we are transdisciplinary or interdisciplinary. So there's a huge variety in backgrounds also with our lecturers and professors. Our dean or project director is Professor Sven Kessering. He's a sociologist. For example, Ms. Urmetzer is a economist. I myself am a social scientist. We have Professor Ackermann, who is also an economist, but also professors from sustainable management, energy economics, and then lecturers from all over the place, basically urban planning, architecture, all backgrounds you can think of, basically. And now the most important part would be criteria for admission. You need a first degree in either business, economics, social science, spatial science, transportation engineering, or architecture. A proof of English level B2, which can be IELTS, TOEFL, or Cambridge, basically, or at the German Abitur. And then also because we actually discovered that a lot of people who don't speak a word of German coming to Germany really have problems integrating here and problems with their daily lives. So we had decided to demand a proof of German level A1 in order to get admission. The application process is rather complicated. Sometimes it's via UniAssist. That's very important to know. And together with the Studienkolleg Constance. So there are some details here. And the application deadline is the 15th of January for the summer semester and the 15th of July for the winter semester. And I think I'll leave it there. Thank you very much.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Julian.
Stop sharing.
Yeah, you can stop sharing. And floor is yours. You can share your screen. In the meantime, I would also like to just emphasize what Julian just said. Yes, in Germany, a lot of people speak English, and you can come here, you can study in English, but learning German is something that is going to be very valuable in many, many different ways, from getting an internship to just everyday life. It's important to make connections and to experience the country, right? So yeah, I would say that. Also, I would say that Baden-Württemberg has great food, so great choice for that. Okay, sorry. Anne, all yours.
And you can all see my presentation, right? Okay, perfect. So I start. I was saying that my name is Anne Küttel, and I'm the program manager of the distance learning program Master Blended Learning of Evaluation, or in short, MABEL. And I will tell you more about the program in the next 15 minutes. And of course, there will also be room for questions. And I would like to dive right into the question why it is worth to study our MABEL degree program. And try to go to the next slide. Okay, this was one too much. Still struggling a bit with the technique here. Yeah, I was saying why it is worth to study our program. So I want to give you 4 aspects for now that I want to go into more detail in a second. There is an increasing demand for qualified personnel in the area of evaluation and monitoring, or in short, M&E. The program is led by 2 renowned and experienced professors, namely Reinhard Stockmann and Wolfgang Meyer. They are also the scientific directors of the program. And of course, there are also other very good professors in our program. The program also benefits from the complementary expertise and skills of the cooperation partners. So the cooperation partners are the university at Saarbrücken, the Saarland University, and in Kaiserslautern. And yeah, the other partner is in Kaiserslautern, the Rhineland-Palatine Technical University, Kaiserslautern-Landau. And the last aspect I want to talk about is that we have students from all over the world, different expertise areas and skills. So go to the next slide. And yeah, in the course of global challenges, evaluation and monitoring capacities have become even more important. For example, in dealing with the pandemic, the question would be which measures achieve which success, or in dealing with the climate change, there would be the question, are we on the right path to achieve the climate target? And if we look, for example, at development cooperation, question would be, are the implemented projects or programs sustainable? Apart from that, you have probably already had contact with teaching evaluation at the end of a lecture. The second aspect I was mentioning earlier, Professor Stockmann and Professor Mayr have led numerous evaluations themselves in different countries. They have developed a learning program, 𝘈𝘥𝘷𝘦𝘳𝘴𝘪𝘯𝘨, and also the German learning program. And they have published numerous books, for example, the series of institutionalization of evaluation around the globe, and also handbooks. And on top of that, Professor Stockmann has also founded the Center of Evaluation and the German Journal on Evaluation. Yeah, that's him on the picture, Professor Stockmann. And on the next slide, you can see Professor Mayr and also a photo from this year's on-campus phase, where you can see the students. And yeah. So we have a really heterogeneous student body. In the current student cohort, we have students from 18 different countries. Yeah, for example, we have students from Kosovo, Mexico, the Philippines, Uganda, Azerbaijan, and particularly during our on-site attendance phase, as shown in the picture before, there is yeah, a lot of room to share experiences and ask practical and academic questions. Yeah, this is also really the heart of our program. We have 2 on-campus phases, one in the first semester and another one in the third semester. And as we are a blended learning program, this phase is really intense and also really important to consolidate knowledge. Yeah, the program is offered in cooperation between the Saarland University and the RPTU Kaiserslautern-Landau. The 𝘈𝘈𝘷𝘦𝘳𝘴𝘪𝘈 is a distance learning program, and the DISC has a lot of experience with teaching distance learning programs. And also at the Saarland University, we have the KEC, which is a joint institution of the Saarland University and the University of Applied Sciences. And they also take particularly care of academic continuing education programs. So yeah, studying with us has the advantage that you can study at a public university. Indeed, you can study at 2 public universities. And a lot of students enjoy it to become a student again, and also to be able to use facilities at both universities. And the continuing education is delivered at an academic level, but there's also room to transfer this on a practical level. As I said, we have a lot of different students from different countries with different experiences. So this is really something we are proud of. And to move on, we are a certified program. We have just been certified again for the next 8 years by the Quality Office of the Saarland University. And we try to keep moderate prices because we want to welcome students from all over the world. And we know it's economically pretty tough in some areas. We try to keep it low. And we just try to cover our costs and not to make a profit. We think also that we have a great work-life balance. Almost all of our students work full-time, but they still manage to incorporate their studies quite well. So the self-learning phases offer a lot of flexibility. The students can study at their own pace and according to their needs. Of course, this also comes with responsibilities. So our students need to manage their time and also their progress. But we also have phases with live interactions apart from the on-site phases, for example, online seminars or Q&A sessions. We can offer our students a good support, and I'm available as program manager for most issues. And my colleagues in the secretariat and the examinations office support me, of course. And yeah, we communicate mainly through an online learning platform where students can ask questions and also talk to fellow students. So, here I have a slide with all key facts about our program. So the target group, we are looking for self-employed evaluators, freelancers, commissioners of evaluations, and graduates of social degree programs. Our study program lasts 4 semesters, and our students can achieve in total 60 credits, and it's a part-time program. As I was mentioning, we try to keep the fees low. At the moment, we have €1,500 tuition fee, and the social contribution fee is at the moment at 135.50 cents. You can apply to our program once a year. So you can only start in the winter semester in October, and the application phase will be from March to around mid-August. Of course, there are also admission requirements. You can access with or without a first degree our program, but if you do not have a first degree, you need to do an aptitude test before. I think I was talking a lot about the teaching learning format already. Learners are supported in taking personal responsibility for their own process. So they get a lot of materials on their learning platform, so they can prepare themselves. And during the on-campus phase, we try to do a lot of group works and interactive tasks. I brought here a screenshot from our study program from the learning platform. So you can see we're working with 𝘱𝘢𝘓𝘕. I don't know, maybe you have heard about it. And here you can see our modules. So in the first semester, it's rather about introducing students to the topic to lay some foundations. And in the second semester, it's getting more specific. There's a module on qualitative and quantitative data. And then in the third semester, there's, for example, a module on economic evaluation. And again, we have...
Thank you so much for your presentation. Under the 15 minutes, so perfect, thank you. And Sophie, go for it.
Okay, let me share my slides. Can you see them and hear me?
Yes.
Perfect. All right. Hello, everyone. My name is Sophie Wagner. I'm happy to introduce you today to our master program, Economic Policy and Quantitative Methods. I work at the University of Potsdam at the Department of Economics, and I already saw a lot of questions in the chat. I hope to answer most of them. I think I will. And then the remaining questions I'm happy to discuss afterwards. Before I start, I want to already point you to our Twitter channel and to our LinkedIn page, because there we upload on a regular basis news about deadlines and about events and so on. So if you're interested in that, please check that out and maybe follow us if you like. Okay, so the University of Potsdam is somewhat young, so founded in 1991, but we actually have a very good reputation, and we have 3 campuses that are located all over the city. The campus Griebnitzsee, where the master program is located, is very close to Berlin. So you can reach Berlin via public transport in 15 to 20 minutes, which is very nice. So a lot of students and a lot of faculty live in Berlin, but I myself live in Potsdam and I really enjoy it here too. So you have both options. A little bit about the program first. So the name Economic Policy and Quantitative Methods already gives you the basic pillars of our program. So the two focuses that we have. It is a Master of Science degree with a regular study period of 4 semesters. All courses are taught in English, so you don't need to provide any German language sufficiency, but you need to be able to learn in English and write and read in English, of course. We have an intake of new students every winter semester, and the application deadline for that is June 1st, starting in April. So from April till June 1st, you can apply. And I will talk about the application requirements in a little bit. The master program is embedded in the Center of Economic Policy Analysis, which is a network of researchers that aim to do economic policy relevant research. We have partnering institutes, for example, the Potsdam Institute for Climate Impact Research, which is very interesting. And through that, the students have the opportunity to do interesting internships and get working positions and so on. And of course, there's a lot of events and discussions and workshops that are always open to students, and we're always happy if students participate in those. I want to highlight a few reasons why it is a good idea to start in our program. So the first reason should be that you're interested in economic policy or in quantitative methods or in both. So that should be the first reason, of course. We have a very good student to staff ratio. So every cohort consists of about 20 to 30 students. So through your studies, you will definitely get to know the professors and also the lecturers and faculty. So we will get to know each other. You have very good opportunities to get a research assistant positions. So either with us, so at one of the chairs, or with one of the research institutions. Most of the time, these positions are also in English language because the research is in English. And these positions, I saw the question in the chat. So what the students do is mostly teaching or administrative work, or they actually do research. So we try to incorporate them in our daily routine and daily work, actually. You also have the opportunity to have internships at the research institutions or, of course, at other companies as you like, but it's also not mandatory. And if you're interested in doing a PhD afterwards, you are welcome to already participate in PhD classes at the Berlin School of Economics and kind of get a head start if that's what you want to do afterwards. So a little bit about the content, of course. Yeah, as you can see, this is way too much to go over in detail right now. I want to highlight kind of the structure of the program. So on the top, you see the orange courses. Those are the mandatory courses. So in the first semester, you will take 3 mandatory courses to kind of level all the students and get everyone on the same page. So the first semester is advanced microeconometrics, advanced microeconomics, and advanced macroeconomics. And then at the end, the master thesis is also mandatory for everyone. And beside that, you have a lot of elective courses that you can choose from. And they can be grouped into economic policy. So for example, health economics, economics of education, gender economics, urban economics, economics of climate change, and so on. Or quantitative methods such as machine learning, structural models, experimental methods, policy evaluation, and many more. And then you can do, if you want, incorporate an internship in your studies as well. So this is the structure, and you can choose to focus on economic policy or quantitative methods depending on how many courses you choose within each block. And the focus is really on hands-on data and research analysis. So you will learn to use statistic programs such as R and Stata, and you will learn to work with data to answer research questions and to understand economics. We have international exchange opportunities, so they can be, I guess, grouped in Erasmus partnerships. And we also have some special partnerships, for example, with the Duke University, where we can send every year 1 student, for example. And we also have, starting next year, the opportunity to do a double degree program with the University of Rennes, where you basically have the opportunity to study 1 year with us and 1 year in Rennes, and then you have 2 degrees at the end. So if you're interested in that, I think that is also a very nice, a very nice thing to do. And you can get in touch with us if that's what you would like to do. Okay. We have a mentoring program, which is very nice and interesting for students who have not lived in Potsdam before. We basically match a new student with a student from a previous cohort to get in contact with each other, and also to make the start at the Uni Potsdam as smooth as possible. And this can be anything from living in Germany or living in Potsdam to how the uni works and how the specific software programs work and so on. So this is really a very casual way to make the start as easy as possible. And I think most interesting for you is also the application requirements. So you should have a bachelor degree in economics or related field. And this means that we need 60 credit points in economics. And out of those 60 points, at least 18 should be in mathematics, statistics, or econometrics. So this is really, we need to see that you have studied economics before, and you also have experience in statistics, econometrics, and mathematics. We also need English language proficiency, at least C1 level. So we have a detailed list of which tests qualify to show us this. We don't need a German proficiency test. So you don't need to speak German, because all courses are in English, and also most internships and jobs here are also in English. But of course, I totally agree. It is probably a good idea to learn German just for your everyday life. But actually, Berlin is also very international. So really, we also have faculty that are from abroad and lived here for many years, but still mostly speak English. Let's say it like that. The application deadline is June 1st, and you can apply via Uni Assist. And the application window starts in April. So right now you can't apply yet, but starting from April, you can apply until June 1st. This is our team. So on the top left-hand, you can see the head of the program, Professor Caliendo. On the top right-hand side, you can see our student advisor in economics, Professor Buttel. And then on the top bottom right, you see Ricarda Stremlo. She's in charge of administrative and organizational questions. And then Luis and I, you can see us here, are the EPPM program assistants. And so we answer to emails or do info meetings and so on. That is actually mostly it from me. So if you have any questions left, I am very happy to answer them now. Or if you want to get in touch with us later, you are very welcome to send us an email and ask questions, and we try to answer as soon as possible. And hopefully, we will see you and your application next year. Thank you.
Thank you so much for your presentation. Also, if you have it, you can, this is for all of you. If you want to put a contact email on the chat, you can, and then everyone has the access to it. As you can see here, there are some questions. Some are kind of broad. Someone here actually wrote a list of 8 questions for the University of Potsdam. But maybe we should focus on first a bit more broad, because also we don't have that much time. And I see here some questions that I know that a lot of students usually ask. So first, I would like to ask the 3 of you, the 3 universities here, the 3 programs here, regarding the background. There, for instance, there is a student here that says holds a bachelor degree in general psychology. Would he be eligible, or her would be eligible for a master's in your program? Or another one here says has a minor in economics, for instance, but a major in international relations. How would that affect his chances, for instance, in economics? So maybe you can start same order, Julian and then Sophie.
Shall I answer, Julian?
Yeah, for the psychology case, please.
So economics
sure
is
here.
clear. Economics is just fine. Psychology is not really on our list. So in this case, I would say if the person knows about our program, has read the website and what the content is, and the applicants do also need to write a motivation letter. And if he or she writes clearly in the motivation letter why he or she wants to study sustainable mobilities, yes, then we would accept him or her.
Cool. Anne, maybe?
Yeah, for us, we don't have that strict requirement. So for us, it really depends if the person can prove 20 credits in statistics and social science research methods. And apart from that, one other maybe special requirement for our program, as we are a continuing education program, our students need to have 1 year of but it doesn't really matter if it's already in monitoring or evaluation.
Okay. I gotta be honest, the microphone is still a bit of an issue, but I do think I understood a bit. There, like you can show ECTS points with the transcripts. They're like kind of like case-to-case situations, right? In general. Okay. Sophie?
Yeah. So it really depends on the number of credit points in economics. So we require basically 42 credit points in economics, like really economics, and then 18 at least in mathematics and statistics. So depending, like if you have a minor, for example, in economics, and you kind of did some extra courses in economics and fulfill this requirement, this is totally fine. Psychology, I don't know what courses were taken, but yeah, it really depends if this criteria is met or not. Yeah.
Perfect. I would also like to remind future applicants here and students here that a lot of this information is on the website, on the program's website. You can just go there and check and read it very carefully. This is actually a very, it sounds simple, but a lot of people don't do it. If you intend to apply for any of the programs discussed here today, go to the website and read it very carefully and write it down, all the information that is needed in order to make sure you're qualified for it, right? Okay, having said that, I see here a lot of questions about quantitative and qualitative work within the programs, and both ways goes. First, how much of a background they should have, for instance, in, I don't know, R or quantitative or statistics. And after that, during the program and after the program, how much training that requires, or how much would they have to dedicate it in terms of quantitative or qualitative, or how much they can also just choose, right? Julian, Giselle?
Yeah, so we focus mostly on the qualitative side of things, although we also teach quantitative methods. So having that said, we have a lecture in R, which is the basics of R basically, and we have a lecture for the basics of SPSS. I think that was the question, right? So you don't necessarily need basics in these two languages and programs, the one language and the program. However, of course, it's always helpful to have it before you start into the study course.
Of course. Anne?
I hope you can hear me.
I can.
For us, it's quite balanced. As I was saying in my presentation, we do both, and we expect our students to have some basic knowledge in both. But if they do not, they can still acquire it throughout the first semester by doing a certificate. Yeah, apart from that, I think if you are not that experienced, you will get at least an idea after the second and third semester.
Perfect.
Yeah, so you should, if you apply, have taken at least 18 credit points in mathematics, statistics, or quantitative methods. So I guess that's the experience you should have. It is not necessarily, you don't have to necessarily have experience in R or Stata or something. That's not a specific requirement, because we teach you how to use those and actually introduce you to how to work with real world data and to analyze this and so on. So this is not a specific requirement, but this is what you will learn in our program. And yeah, the program is quantitative oriented rather than qualitative.
Cool. Okay, we are really running out of time here, so I'm going to ask the last question that someone kind of asked, and I think it's a good one. It's a two-part question, and it might be a bit long. That's why it's the last one. So first, a lot of students always ask about scholarships, right? And I would also like to remind students here that we have a dedicated article about scholarships, because in Germany, you can get scholarships not only with the university. There are other institutions that you can find scholarships opportunities. So be aware of that. But focusing on that, scholarship opportunities within the programs, the universities, the faculties. And a very specific question, someone asks, what do you expect from the letter of motivations and how they can stand out in that sense? So last round, Julien, Giselle.
So scholarships is a bit difficult, I must admit. Of course, they can apply for the AAD scholarship, but we do not have special scholarships of our faculty. We have the 𝘗𝘢𝘪𝘥, what you probably know as well. This is 300 euros per month, but students can only apply in the summer, and they need to have at least one semester at our university. So if they start in October, they can only apply after 2 semesters, and then there are only 2 semesters left. So, but these are the only scholarships, or this is the only scholarship what we offer from our university.
Fair enough.
For us, it's also a bit difficult. We do not offer any scholarships within the program, but we are constantly looking for opportunities, to some funds, because we know it's really tough for some students. But yeah, of course, there are the 𝘗𝘪𝘵 and other pages where you can go through the database and check out opportunities. And
yeah, makes sense.
Yeah, I'm not an expert on the scholarships and so on. So the program does not have a tuition fee. So what we do have is a semester fee, and I think right now it's about 300 euros per semester, which already also includes the public transportation ticket in Berlin and Potsdam and 𝘗𝘪𝘕. So yeah, I don't think we have specific scholarships for the economics degree. What we do offer is student assistant positions. So we have actually a lot of those, and a lot of students take this opportunity to make, extra money, and which is also very nice to get to know the faculty and so on. And I think the other question was about the letter of motivation.
Yes.
And I didn't have it on my presentation because actually we're right now working on dropping this requirement. So yeah, exactly. So right now it's not completely official yet. So on our website it still indicates this, but I didn't put it in the presentation because we're actually thinking about dropping this.
Okay, interesting.
Exactly. Yeah.
Maybe then going back, Anne, do you want to talk about the letter of motivations requirement? Oh God. I can't. I'm sorry. Something. Yeah. Maybe Julien.
I think it's mainly the marks, or it's one point is the marks, and I think the second point, as an international student at our university, this is already a plus, but they need pretty well marks as well. Yeah,
makes sense. Okay, Julien, sorry. Well,
one more thing regarding the language certificates. I think I had it on my slide for English-speaking countries where English is the first language, and if you can prove that your first degree was taught in English, we usually waive the language certificate in English language. I think it was in the slides, but I think I was not clear about that.
Sure. Yeah, this is a question that appears a lot, but again, you can do, this is for the future applicants here. Please go to the website and the information is going to be there. But because Julien brought it up, which is great, thank you. Maybe we can finish it with that one. So, and about language certificates, if someone comes from the first bachelor's entirely in English, or maybe comes from an English-speaking country, is that considered? Is it me or is it frozen?
Maybe I can answer first.
Yeah, go first, Sophie.
So we have a list on the website. So with the different tests that are that we accept. And then, of course, if you have completed your bachelor degree completely in English, it will say so then also on your transcript of records most of the time. This we allow as well. So if you studied in English, you don't need to have an extra test. And of course, if you're a native speaker, then this is also fine. Yeah, exactly.
Perfect. Yeah. Okay, and it's back.
Yeah, now it was my internet.
Oh, good. We can hear you now.
At least one thing. The English requirements. It depends a little bit. If you are living in a country where English is the main language, we also can accept that. And of course, if you are working full-time at an international company and you can prove that your work language is English, we also accept that. And of course, if you have studied before a degree program in English, we also do accept that as a proof.
Perfect. Good. Well, we are out of time here. I would like to thank all of you for coming here and sharing with us. All the applicants really need to learn. But again, I would encourage the applicants to, if you have any questions, I know there's always more questions, just all of them have their contacts in the chat. Please email them, reach out to them. Also reach out to us in My German University. We're happy to help and happy to connect. Having said that, I wish you a great rest of the week. Once again, thank you so much from all of you. And I will end the chat. I will just for final remarks, if any of you want to maybe a final message, I can open the floor for you. Maybe Julian or Giselle. All good?
We are looking forward to your applications.
Perfect.
And happy to receive you here at our university.
Perfect. And also, I'm assuming also the same sentiment, right?
Yeah, sure. And if you have any further questions, you just can contact us. I've posted the email address. And yeah, I think then we could also arrange another meeting, and I will try to fix the microphone issues in the meantime.
It's working fine now.
Yeah, the same for me. Thank you for coming. We have info events actually starting in spring. So if you want to come there, we're happy to share more information. And yeah, please reach out to us if you have questions, and we're looking forward to the application. All right.
Perfect.
Yes.
And our next application deadline is January 15th. So if you want to start in March already in Germany, so apply now at 𝘱𝘢.
Great advice.
Good. Thank you.
So bye-bye, everyone. And thank you so much for
Bye-bye.
Thank you for the invitation.